Hello, hello, hello. It's Anne Lewis, your independent Stamping Up demonstrator based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. Welcome. Welcome, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on replay. Anyhow, I've got a few things to show you. I thought I'd do something a little different. And I always love doing gift card sets. Mainly because they're useful, and my friends love receiving handmade cards. So let's put you down on the desk so that you can see. Now I've kind of got two different versions of cards. So the first one is what I would call stepped up ones, and then I've got a couple of simple ones. But let's first walk through what I'm actually using tonight, because it's something I don't use a lot of, but I really should be using more of them. And you can see how gorgeous they turn out. But I'm actually using our basic note cards and envelopes. You get 20 in a pack. So it's 20 envelopes and 20 note cards. So that's unbelievable value. And that's why I actually thought I would showcase using these. Now, the other really good thing about this is I don't have to cut out my card bases. I can just use what's here, and I've got these cute little envelopes as well. Now, notelets and envelopes are slightly smaller than what I would call a standard card size. But for these sort of cards, they come out really good. Now, this is one part of a gift. So another two cards, plus it's only part of a gift. So let's get started. First off, I'll show you. Oh, just let me know that you can see and hear me as well. Hi, Glenda. Yes, I have shifted Kiko. Oh, not shifted too far, shifted out into the lounge because she was driving me insane. She was knocking everything off on the craft desk. It's very funny because every Wednesday she comes into the craft room and plays. Any other time, yeah, she's really not that interested. So I'll show you this card. This is the one I'll be making first. So you can see it's got some gold foil and um, and I've just got a simple message on the inside. And I'll show you how to make this, because this is a card that you can certainly take up to a larger size as well. So a standard card size. And I'll show you some, just because the size of how I put this together doesn't really matter. It just looks stunning, and it really is the paper that makes it look amazing. So the paper I'm using, and you've seen me use it a few weeks actually, it's in the mini catalogue. It's actually this paper here. Forgot that it was on the front, and it comes from the Traditions of Christmas suite. Now, what I love about this paper is you don't have to do too much with it, because it is absolutely stunning. And yes, there's stamp sets and there's dies that go with it. But I'm just basically, there are a couple of exceptions, but basically I'm just using the paper. So you can see how gorgeous it is. And I'm just going to show the paper up a little closer. Wait a minute. Ooh, I can never do this, don't you? There we go. We kind of got it there. So this is the foil side that you can see here, and the B side is a patterned flat paper. What I call flat. It doesn't have foil. Now, what I like about this paper is the B side is just as pretty as the A side. So you can see I've used the foil here, but I've used actually the pattern paper on the back. And exactly the same on this card, different design, but you will see, I'm hoping you can see the foil on there. Rightio, so let's get started. So here is my card base. Remember, this is from the note cards and envelopes. Now, I've written it down here so that you can actually see. These are 5 inches by 3.5. If I open them up, it's actually 5 inches by 7 inches. However, don't have these, don't worry. You can cut your own at this size, or you can do a traditional standard card base. All right, let's get going. Where's my, let's pull out. This is what I try and do to keep everything a little more organized, is put all my supplies that I've cut out actually in the envelope so I don't lose them. But, you know, it's not necessarily going to work. So I'm going to use one of the in colors from this year, which is Secret Sea, and I've cut it 3.5 inches by 5 because I didn't want a white border anywhere. Now, you could make this card using any of the papers, using any papers that you have in your stash. And that's what I'm trying to do, is trying to get you to use what's in your stash. Mind you, I would have to use this one if I had it in my stash. But it's also available in my online store. And as I said, it's called The Traditions of Christmas. And it's a very traditional designer series paper or pattern paper. For those that are new to Stampin' Up, pattern paper and designer series paper. I've cut this a little off, but this is one of those many things. So it's a little, you'll see when I've turned this over, it overhangs. Not a problem. I can just trim it off with my scissors. Oh no, no, perfect. Just throw that out. Now, my next piece, if you look at this, is this piece here. So I've basically got 2 triangles. So how did I make those triangles and how did I make it easy? Because, you know, my catch cry is making creativity easy. So all I did is I cut this down. So I know this is 3.5 inches. So I've cut a 3.25 inch square. So I've still got a border that I can use. And so it's just a square piece. And then all I'm going to do is cut it from corner to corner. So remember, it's 3.25 inches square. Now, how do I get this? If you're not used to this, this is my cutting blade here. Where am I? This is my cutting track here. So I just line up the 2 points, 2 corners, drop this down. Now, what I always do, especially at the moment because my blades are a little blunt, I will always drop this right in the center. I will double check that I've still got this lined up because sometimes it does move, and I will just cut those 2 triangles. Easy peasy. And then, now on this one, you can see I put it layered it like this. And so I get that really nice contrast stripe down the center. But let's just turn it around so you can see that you can put it either direction and grab some multi-purpose glue. I know, how can I hide this gorgeous paper? Look at that. But anyway, it's nice to have a little plainer contrast. Now I've got way too much glue on here. For those that always laugh. So all I do is spread it back in the center so it doesn't squish out. And I do want it to go right into these corners so it doesn't pop up. And you can just see how just changing this, the direction of this, makes the card look just a little different. Now you could make a set of all the same. I just wanted to show you a couple of different ideas of how to do it. And I've got two really simple cards. So if you want to make lots of them, and I haven't got them here. Well, I do have them here, but I haven't shown them to you yet. This is easy. So you can see how stunning that is. And really, you haven't had to do too much. Now, where's my other, all these little pieces? So then I have another piece of Secret C. Let me grab my ruler. This piece is 2.5 inches by 4 inches. I've kept that pretty simple. Then I've changed up the paper here. I thought, let's go a little brighter again. As I said, it's the designer series paper that does all the work. I have so many videos on simple cards that you can whip up with whatever you like. So how good is that? So let's pop it up. Let's use some of these. I don't know, I go through dimensionals like you've never seen. I just cut these so I can use them if I don't want to use the big strip. So I've got a little hint here of how to make it a little easier. I always put a couple on this in the center so it doesn't collapse on me. Anyway, so I've got to decide which way I want to go. Now, the way that I line this up, hi Marianne, hi Rhonda, hi Myrtle. The way I lined it up is I always, when I do this design, put one corner in line with that diagonal and the other corner in line with that diagonal, which makes it pretty simple and just finishes it off. So, I have a little bit of OCD. It's an OCD finish. So I've got to decide which way I want this up. And then I'm going to just place it kind of in the center, but making sure my 2 points are nicely lined up. So you can see how I've got that point lined up and that point lined up. Now, I did die cut just to save a bit of time using from the same suite traditional label dies, and you can see how many label dies there are. This is my favorite, but it was too big for this. You can see it was always going to hang over. Well, I've got one of these sitting here on my desk somewhere. Look how gorgeous that is. Would look oh, actually, I've just been thinking it was too big because I had these little bits attached, but I can actually pull them off. So let's do something a little different. So how nice is that I can do that? And then it is looking a little smaller. And you can choose. This is the one I had originally picked. There's so many dies in here. Let me just have a look at how many dies there are. There's For those that haven't known, the number of dies are on the back. So there's 7 dies here. And one of them actually cuts out the designer series paper. I think. Maybe I've got them mixed up. I could easily, but we'll see. Anyway, don't take that literally. I'll have to look at my catalogue, because I might have just filed it away wrong. Where do we go? There's so many pages of this. Wait a minute. Where are the dies? I know there is no anything that cuts out. It's sitting over here. So I've mixed the dies up. I'll fix that up later. So let's swap out I was using Season's Greetings, but I'm going to swap that out and use my favourite stamp, Sending Love and Joy. As you see, you can pick which one it is because it's already fairly stained. I'll put this back, but I'll have to clean it later. So this has been so used. Now, I'm going to use the Secret C because that's my colour scheme on this. I could use red. Let's keep to the Secret C. This stamps nicely. Now I'm sitting down tonight, which is unusual because normally I have a little pussycat. Just knock the camera. I'm trying to just, well, that's going to have to be it. I know, I got that a little off. But anyway, so it does pop up and it's a really nice. Now, I like the Season's Greetings one as well. I've got some twine here, some baker's twine. I don't think we call it baker's twine anymore. But anyway, let's do something with it. I tied a bow on this one. And I also added, these are retired. And you're hearing me say this every week, I am trying to use up all, oh, I just dropped one, all my retired embellishments. I have so many. So we'll put one there. And, oh, kind of got this a little awkward. Maybe one there. And another one. Oh, maybe one up here. I know. I'll pop that up. I'm not sure which one I like best. I like them both, I suppose. But I love that I could make that a little more, this tag fit this card. I know the other good thing about using these notelets, and we've got to decide where I'm going to put this. It is kind of exactly the right size because it's cut. So it actually lines up edge to edge there. How good is that? So I like that. Now, on the inside, I've just got a stamp, which comes from the Holly Jolly stamp set, but I'm sure you'll have something in your stash as well. And if not, I do. This is available also. It's an online exclusive, and it's available from my online store. So you can see how gorgeous that stamps. So 2 basically similar cards, but a little different. Now, I'm not going to show you how I decorated the envelope. Where is my envelope here? So how my envelope would turn out, but I'll show you how to do the next one. because I've already cut it. Put these away. Let's give myself a little bit of room. So now I'm going to be doing this card. And I designed this card wholly and solely, which I do fairly regularly, to use up stuff on my desk. And I had so many little scraps after doing a bit of a cutout and also using this paper, I think probably for the last 3 weeks. I'm going to shut this off because you know me. You've seen me put my cards in my ink pads. Now, these are machine cut and also machine scored. So I always make sure that I get the corners, well, this is what I'm trying to do, get them level, so the corners, and then I just grab my bone folder and just push it back like that. And that gives me a really nice, neat, crisp score line, which is a little better than when they come out of the box. As I said, my poor old little trimmer needs a new. How can I hide that? But I will. I wanted plain this time. Now this piece, I'll tell you the measurement in a second, leaves a nice border around so I can still see that. Oh, I forgot to put something. Started a job on that other card. I'll go back. Still got that baker's twine, so we may not use it. I know. So there's my designer series paper, which is 3 1/4 inches by 4 3/4, 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. Now, I'll just show you. This piece here is cut, and I'll measure it again for you. My ruler has walked. Is 2 3/8 inch wide by 3 7/8 inch long. Right? So it's just basic white. Now it's my layer, but let's do, and I'll just show you what this actually looks like up close. You can see it's all my little strips of cardstock that I have left over. So I've got a whole lot here. Hopefully I won't have to cut any more. But this is the perfect use of these. You can see I've got some thick ones. I've got some that I can use if I run out. And I'm just sticking them onto a scrap piece of paper. I had this left over. Now, this piece is always, whenever I'm doing anything using scraps, I always do it on a bigger piece so I can cut it down and get these really neat and tidy edges. Thank you, Glenda. I'm glad you liked the cards. I'm just seeing that I haven't missed any comments. These packs are so easy to do. They are. Now, let's get started. So I'm going to just be working at an angle across. Does it matter? Does it have to be perfect? No, it doesn't. I'm looking for a scrappy piece here. I'm just going to start with a big piece because remember, I'll be cutting it down and I'll just show you how I know. So it's got to be smaller than the white piece. Look, threw the wrong piece out. So I'm going to just be, now I'm going to do this a little different than what I did last time. Last time I used some seal. Oh, let's use some seal. You never see me use seal. But it does work for this a fair bit. But I'm going to use, I'm going to use some seal. I'm just going to get my silicone mat. Makes it a little easier because things don't stick to it. And I know, let's go. So I'm just using some seal, which for those that haven't been following Stampin' Up lately, is the replacement for our snail. Now I want to cover all this with adhesive so that there's no bits that are going to be jumping up and causing me any trouble. Hence why it gets a little sticky. Oh no, I've completely covered that. Throw that out of the way. Now, let's get started. All I'm doing is lining up these. Oh, I've got some little ones here. Now, I can put thick, thin. Don't want to do that, though. Didn't want to do that. I do want it to go from edge to edge, which I didn't do then. Let's throw this back on. And you just butt them up. Don't overlap them. And you try and go light, dark, different colours. Some foil. This is not going to be big enough. This bit will be. I'm using very thick bits up the top here. Don't worry about the overhang. I clean that all up at the very end. So what else have I got here? Let's put a little bit of this down. Kind of feel like I need a bit of green. I got some green here somewhere. I thought I did. Yeah, have I got any green here at all? Oh no, I don't. So I'm going to, because I want some old olive, I'm just going to cut a little strip. Don't normally need to do this, but I haven't used this paper. Oh, you didn't see that. Look what I did. No laughing. I'm going to gently peel that off. This is what happens when you've only got a little tiny work area. Oh no, it survived. Let's put that over there, out of the way, so I don't have another disaster. Oh no. There's my old olive. You can see it just adds that little bit of contrast. Snail is very sticky. I know. Let's go some nice light paper. I know. This is not as difficult as I'm making it. You hear me say that quite often. Anytime you go live, you can guarantee that everything is not going to go perfect. I know. Now, it looks really crappy at the moment, and I know it does. I'm going to just trim that off. We don't need that little bit on it. So, but you will see how nice this actually comes together at the end. And you can, all your scraps, and I know we all have scraps. And as I said, I've cut them all at different widths. Oh, here's a nice one. There's no great art to this. I'm not spending any time. Oh, I might put that on. I'm not spending any time on making this look super special. Oh, that's one. This is that green piece I was looking for before. And one last little tiny bit, which I'm sure we'll never see. Anyway, so as you see, it is all over the place at this stage. So all I do is grab a pair of big scissors, turn it over. Well, actually, before I do that, I grab a bone folder and make sure all these pieces are stuck down on that sheet. Now I don't need these pieces. So I'm just going to cut them over my bin. Otherwise, they will go everywhere. You're not seeing me do this. I've just turned it over. I'll show you what I'm doing. So I'm just cutting. Let's try it on here. Cutting down here. Now, this is just a rough cut, just to tidy it up. I'll do the last cut with my trimmer. Just remember I had all that extra cardstock that I certainly don't need. Are you ready for the ooh and the ah? I'm going to throw this out. Clean up my desk just a bit. Ready for the ooh and the ah? Radio. Well, there we go. How nice does that now look? But I want it smaller. Now, remember, this piece is 2 3/8. No, it's not. Where's my ruler? Where's my good ruler? I know. It is... Actually, I've probably cut it a little smaller, but it's 2 1/4 by 3 7/8. So this, I have to cut down smaller than that. So if I write that down, 2 1/4 by 3 7/8. So I'm going to cut it so it is 2 inches wide, and I'm pretty sure that's what I did here. Oh no, I cut it at 2 1/4. So I've kind of cut this. Oh, I've got 2 pieces here. Maybe that's my issue. Anyway, we need to cut it down smaller. So I'm going to cut this at 2 1/4. Let's pull it so you can actually see me. 2 1/4. Is there a side that I like better than the other? Maybe not. 2 1/4. And then it was 3 7/8. So I'm going to do 3 3/4. Yep, that'll do. Pretty sure that's right. Now, you know this piece here, I'm going to be using it. I'm going to use it on the inside of the card to decorate it. Hence, one of the other reasons was I'm hoping that this is just going to leave a little border around. Doesn't really leave. Let's see if it works on this one. I have too many pieces. That's the right one. That was a scrap piece. Let's grab some adhesive and see how gorgeous that is. It was really easy to make, and those edges are great because I've used the trimmer on it. Now, I've only got a little border on this. As I said, you could use whatever you've got at home for this. Oh, sorry, wait a minute. Can't really see above it, so I've got to... My head won't go where the camera is. I know. Here we go. So I can just pop that up on there. Again, have I got some really... I've got some new dimensionals here somewhere? Hoping I do. I said I go through these like you've never seen. I know, so this will be quick and easy. So who takes them out of the middle, or do you take them around the edge? for dimensionals. Let me know. Good way to use up your scraps, that it is. And it means with this beautiful paper, because it's got a foil, it's a little bit more expensive than our normal paper. It means you get more out of your... There we go. I meant to put a ribbon around it. I didn't. However, let me show you how I did this. I kind of did this Merry Christmas. See how I've lined up the Merry Christmas, and I don't have that same. I might have to change this around a bit because I had this really, really great strip in here, which I don't have because I didn't have that colour. So let's see. I've got some red. Don't know that can I get it under here? Let's see. Let's see what we can do here. This ribbon, which is from the same set, is the real, it's just called Real Red. But it has a right side and a wrong side. And I'll show you. One side shiny and the other side's a little dull. I'm hoping you can see that there. So this is not my strength. I did a faux bow on this, and I was going to show you how to do a faux bow. But let us try something else. Now, if I'm going to tie something like this, because I made a mistake, I will grab a little clip like this, pull it tight like I want to, put the clip on because I don't have enough hands to tie this nicely. And let's cut this. I used way too much ribbon. So much easier when you're using a faux bow, and I'll do that another night. Let's cut this off. I know. Get rid of that ribbon. So we still were able to get this one's a bit long. A nice little bow there. Now I'm going to show you just another little tip. I am full of tips of how to fix things when they don't go perfect. And just say I didn't like, which I'm not actually that unhappy, but if I didn't like how this was sitting, you can actually put a little glue dot under there and get those little tails. I want to cut that down just a bit more to get those tails to sit a little better. So you don't have to be a really good bow tire, because we always have tricks that will make it look a little nicer. Righto. So see how that now looks. As I said, it was certainly an easier way if I hadn't forgotten. Now, I've just got to add my Merry Christmas. And I'm using this gorgeous little stamp set, which comes from Jolly Holly. Where I put it last time, which it looks so nice, was along here. But I might actually do it a little different this time. Yeah. My card base. Oh no, it's a spare card base. So I've got the stamp on here. I'm going to grab my ink. And I'm going to use the Real Red, which is hiding under 10 tons of supplies here. Now, I have trouble for little tiny stamps like this if I don't have a die that's as small as this stamp of how to get it. Okay. Now, Do Christmas first. This is different than how I did the first one because I'm putting it in a different place. So I'm just lining it up with the edge. You know I have 1,000, slight exaggeration, but not too much, 1,000 different strips of white paper, but they're on the other side of the room. So I'm just adding a Mary here. Hopefully I've got it nicely lined up. It's not that nice, but I don't think what I did on the first one, and I don't think this will fit. No, I used punch to get that nice straight line. Throwing my ink pad out of the way again. And let's just cut this. So I can use this. Sometimes I do have stamps with these actually in one word. Would have been a lot easier to find. I don't know. So I've just trimmed that up. It's nice and square. Let's see where I can put it. I can pop it up there. Oh, I can still maybe strip it in there. I kind of like it there. What does everybody think? I'll have to trim it down just a smidgen so it fits. We might just pop it there. I know. What do you think? I don't. No one's helping me. Now I'm not going to pop this up. Just going to keep this nice and flat. Oh, well, Carol, we'll be making these cards next Sunday week. Actually, Marianne. I know. I'll just line that up there. So I liked it on the angle for some unknown reason this time. Then that piece of strip of, here we go. This little strip here. Obviously, I missed a bit of glue. Well, more to the point, this is where so I'm just gluing that down. I know. Oh, I cut it shorter. The other one I did. So we might just put it sideways like this, along this way. That's okay. As I said, I design for what I have, not what I wish I had. Oh, I think that'll be okay. So now it ties in with the front. Turn this over, trim it up. And then I'm going to put on the inside in real red again. I'm going to put a different sentiment this time, wishing you and yours all the best. Whilst I stamp this, don't forget tomorrow is Stamping Up is having a stamp sale. And so 15% off stamps and also 15% off stamp tools. There will be a link in my online store so you know what stamp tools are included. If you have any issues, don't hesitate to ring me and I can help you through it. We only do one stamp sale a year, so this is pretty special. So how nice is this on the inside? And that's how the front of it looks. So now where's this is the one I've just made. Now I want to show you how I did that envelope. It's so simple, and I'm sure you've seen me, or most of you will have seen me. Guess what this piece is? I hope I didn't cut it down. I've forgotten that. So really simple. I just open up the flap using my multi-purpose adhesive because I want it to slide a little bit. Keep along the edges. A little bit of, got a little dimensional there, a stray dimensional. Now I could use this side, but let's put the really pretty side. And I butt it right up to where the score line is. I don't go over it though, because I want this to sit nicely. Now, obviously it looks a bit crappy here, so all I have to do is trim this off. Now, I always use bigger scissors for this. I find I get a neater job. Wish Stampin' Up would bring these gorgeous scissors back. I know. How gorgeous is that now? So, now I've still got 2 cards because you can't have just a set of cards of 2. I wanted to show you the really, really easy ones that I did. So, as you see, this one, I just cut out a piece of designer, actually I used a scrap, designer series paper, added a layer, measurements, you can easily work them out yourself. And then I used the Merry Christmas. And this one, I just put 3 strips, left a little white border around. And so my strips are 3¼ inches wide. And I just made it up so that there was the same border all the way around. Now, for these little sentiments, which are perfect for gift cards, but I did want to show you some that are stamped. I use the ephemera pack that's from the mini catalogue. I just wanted to show you how many are in. I mean, how many are there? There's 6 sheets of sentiments, all gold, so perfect to match this. I wanted a round one, so that's my round one. But it's got lots of sentiments from here, and these are stickers. Actually, I shouldn't have pulled that out. These are stickers. So, but I wanted to pop mine up. So there's lots of happy Christmases, Merry Christmas, Merry and Bright, season's greeting from our house to yours. Oh, I love, love, love these. And I've used them so much. And I know they're really great for beginners, but they're good for everybody because, I mean, look at how gorgeous that is. And I didn't have to do any heat embossing, which is what I wanted. I'm hoping you can see this. Wait a minute. Okay. So let's bring out my cards. These are the 2 simple ones. Truly, they took about 5 minutes each. So they were easy. These, as you saw, took a little longer. But how nice are they? Where's my other 2? This one, this one. So let's do this. Do this one, and obviously envelopes with some matching DSP. So which one do you like? Do you like the strip one or this one, which I don't even know what you'd call it, but with the 2 triangles on it? And I just love them both. So you can imagine, and you're going to see this, I'll finish it off next week. So in your gift, if you receive this gift from me, is you're going to have envelopes, right? You're going to have matching envelopes and cards. And I'll probably put a couple of simple ones in as well. They'll be in a box. And I'll be hand making the box. Well, I might be hand making the box, but it's also going to come with some gift cards as well. So Marianne loves them all. I'm glad you do, because if you come to the class, we'll be making these. and Carol likes these striped ones best. I mean, they're just gorgeous, and you can't go wrong. You could use this technique on so many different cards using so many different designer series papers. Rightio, so that's it. Don't forget to check out my online store tomorrow if you would like to. Oh, wait a minute, I'll throw you back up so you can see me. Show you these. Wait a minute, let's come back up so you can see me. You can see all the stamps on the online store. If you, I know I've been a little late getting my catalogues out, and I can only apologise for that, but I've had so much on. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's easy cards, and I mean, I do lots of stepped up cards. These are the easy ones. So you can use what you actually have at home, and all you need is a pack of some designer series paper and some basic envelopes and note cards. And if you really want to step it up, you don't even need stamps other than you need the DSP, and you just need this ephemera pack, which is called the ephemera pack. Greetings for you, mix and match. I'm hoping you can see that, but maybe it's turned around for you. So it's called Greetings for You, Mix and Match. Oh, sorry, ephemera pack. So thanks, everybody. It's been a fun week. Things are slowly getting a little bit more under control at my place, which is pretty darn good. So thanks, everybody. See you next week. And I'm so glad to see a few who I haven't seen for a while. So bye, everybody. Leave comments. Don't forget to subscribe as well.